No, in the U.S. context, because that might be the new language here in the future.
No, it's definitely that way. You know what's crazy? I don't know when was the last time you've been in Florida, but if you go to Miami, son, like, chances are niggas don't speak English. Like, it's a better chance you're gonna run into a dude that speaks Spanish than English. Like, you know, like the dude that's like your parking lot attendant, there's a good chance that he does not speak English at all. Like, not even like, you know, out here, like New York, we got people we have mad immigrants here, but you know, everyone like could, everyone like knows English to some degree. You know, their English may not be good, but they'll know something. Like, you'll go to Miami and they could be out here for like 4 or 5 years and then not even try to learn a lick of English because he good. Like, he ain't have to. Like, it's not necessary out there. So like, he good. So that shit is that shit right there is.
But I just feel like, you know, I want to make sure that my kids can understand the people around them, you know, and they in sports too. You know, they play international football, and all them dudes speak Spanish. So, you know, you need to be knowing what them kids are saying on that field when you play. You know what I mean?
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. It's funny because, like, you know, I was telling people, like, I want to get my son into golf early because, you know, that's where, like, most of these deals is cut anyway. So, like, it's not even about him getting, like, to be able to become a pro at it. You just want to be nice enough where you could go to these company outings and show out with niggas and then have those conversations with, like, CEOs, execs, etc.
Exactly, yeah. Because, you know, with football, you know, you can get Harvard and Princeton scholarships, you know, so I'm definitely looking to get them scouted so they get that full ride at one of these Ivy League PWIs. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, and the funny thing is, like, that's the funny thing is, like, people don't realize the importance of just getting your kids into sports. It could be like anyone. It doesn't even have to be anything in particular. Like, there's scholarships for literally everything. Like, niggas be getting scholarships for band. So it's like, yo, just get your kid in some type of activity that schools is giving scholarships for. Like, it's bugged out. Like
I always say, people say, yo, do you think college is a scam? What do you think about college? Do you think it's worth it? I'm like, if it's free, right? If it's free, that's a huge ass come up, right?
No, I'm just facts only.
Because I feel like college is the perfect place to incubate ideas. You know, that's what companies are built. That's where Microsoft was built. That's where Facebook was built. You know, all these, you know, Snapchat was built by, you know, college kid. I feel like if you ain't built your thing at that age, you kind of like a flunky. Like with the rest of us, it's all flunkies. Like you supposed to, like, you missed your time. Like you missed your Jordan years.
Well, see, that's the funny thing. Like, how I look at college, like, I think college, in my opinion, the value is from the network.
Absolutely.
And I think, like, if you don't choose your school without keeping the network that you will gain from it in mind, like, it's either one or two things. It's either like you if you're doing something that's like a highly specialized field, like engineering, et cetera, all right, you know, you go to like whatever the top schools in, you know, and mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, shit like that, you know, you do that for that. Outside of that context, which most majors do not fall under, you're literally going to a college for the network, and that's what you're gonna. That's where the value lies in the school you choose. So that's why even like a school I went to, which was like Hofstra, is not necessarily like a quote unquote like big known schools, but in professional circles, like it's a Ashkenazi school, so it's well known enough in professional circles that it justifies its tuition price.
Correct.
You know, so like that's where I think dudes actually get the value from it.
I remember when I was younger, I signed up for college just to hustle. I just wanted to pass to be on campus.
Yo, son, I mean, dog, like, dude, it was the craziest thing because I used to, like, cats used to be doing anything on campus, and I used to always be sitting here like, yo, it's bugged out how much money, like, dudes make off drugs on college campuses, and it's like niggas is on streets risking their lives, and, like, all the money is at the college campus. Like, you could just be trapping out your car, like, on a college campus in bad safety. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was risking their lives on the street corners and shit like that to sell drugs, yo.
Sign up for a couple of classes, I'll just be lamping. Need that? I got you.
Son. and it was the money was endless, yo. Because every time they ran low, the parents would just refill them up. It was like the best clientele. Like it's the most bugged out shit. So it's the most. I knew a couple of dudes that graduated from school and just was full time selling like after school for a couple of years, like at school, like they couldn't transition. They couldn't transition back into the regular workforce because the money was too good.
Somebody said, "I don't like Ivy League because they sell their agenda to the world, especially public school." Well, the world created those institutions. You know, you send your kids there to get, you know what I mean, to get like a little bit of that Illuminati dust on them. You know what I mean?
You got to learn the game. I tell people this whole shit is a game. Like, you got to learn the rules of the game and learn how to play it to your advantage. Your niggas be giving up. You ain't gonna remember
this is gang warfare. You know what I mean? And if you live in Harlem, you're gonna have to deal with Italians. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, I'm speaking back when, you know, Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And during that time, you know, I'm speaking euphemistically, but this is gang warfare. So you gotta play chess, man. You gotta play chess. You gotta know when to sacrifice a piece. You know, you gotta know when to defend. You gotta know when to attack. You know, you got to know when to just develop. You know, I think right now we're in a developmental phase. But, you know, yeah, I think Cass is doing too much, man. You know, let your kids got to get a little bit of what am I trying to say here? Mainstream? Is it mainstream? Is it privileged is the right word? I think they got to get that experience, you know.
The college experience?
I mean, it's different types of college experiences, you know. I'm talking about that Yale skull and bones type shit.
Yo, I mean, I think it's
You know, Yale, Harvard, Princeton, like these Stanford, MIT, especially Stanford. Oh my God, you know, like these type of institutions where it's real cliquey. You know what I mean? And it's
the network.
Yeah, but you know, you'll get boxed out real quick too. You know, them dudes down there. Whew, and I think that's a good place to learn. Like if you know how to move like a boss.
But that's another thing too. What I think college teaches people, because I mean, me personally, like growing up, I never was really dealt with much white people like that. Like my schools didn't really have much. My kindergarten through 8th grade, like I had like 1 or 2 white people in that school. Like fucking high school was mostly Spanish. It wasn't mostly black, but it was like mostly Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. So there was like maybe like probably like 15% white people, something like that. There was definitely white kids there, but I never really had to interact with white people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I had teachers that were white, like you dealt with them on an authoritative level, but I never really interacted with too many white people like that. I mean, one of my homies was Italian in high school, but he was, you know, he was like a nigga, like Italian. You know how them niggas be. Like, it wasn't really like authentic, you know, from the Caucasus Mountain white niggas. And then going into college and then having a politic with them on that level, I feel like that was one of the things that definitely I feel like I gained, because that was like it was that bubble where you had that time to, I guess, experiment just with different personalities, especially with white people, because I just never dealt with these niggas before. And it wasn't even, and when I say like learn it wasn't even saying to learn it in a way like I'm trying to learn how to like live with them or anything like that. It's just like, nigga, these niggas, we understand that these niggas systematically have the control and have the power of this whole shit that we live in. Let me learn what the fuck these niggas is doing and see what the fuck I could take and use for myself. And to be honest, like, it's bugged out, because even when I'll talk to some white people and even just talking stories about growing up, and you would hear certain things that they would talk about, or like even like some of these dudes, like the fact that their parents were discussing finances with them, you know what I'm saying? From when they were like mad young and stuff like that. You would start realizing certain things that didn't happen within your experience of growing up. And it's like, oh, all right, you don't say nothing. I'm not acting surprised or anything shocked when I talk to them, but you take that little mental note, like, oh, all right, I see how these dudes is doing this. Or I see how these dudes set their kids up to do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? And I think at the end of it was so funny because I remember when I was about to start picking out schools, and you know, of course, on the typical nigga shit, the first thing you think of is like HBCUs, like to try to go to, and then like my mom's deaded that shit off jump, and then I'm like, yo, why? And she was like, and I'm like, why wouldn't I want to go to like a predominantly black school if I'm black? And she like, cause the world ain't predominantly black, and then so she was like, that was just it. And it's crazy because I know for a fact that if I went into a HBCU, like, I'm not saying I would have ended up all the way like these shea butter niggas, but I definitely would have had a level of tunnel vision because I would have just went from my experiences just generally being around black people, growing up in Brooklyn, Caribbean neighborhood, so I never really interacted with white niggas. So and one of the reasons is you want to interact with these niggas is you want to learn their ways. Because these niggas is sneaky motherfuckers, and you gotta be on point when when you fucking with them, when you doing business with them, when you dealing with them in any regard. So it's like you have to have that time when you kind of like dealing with them in a degree, just so you could learn them. And again, I don't want to say like enemy because it's not like every white person is my enemy, but it's like just in case you are my enemy, like I need to know how you move. You feel me? So. Out of anything, going back to college, like I really feel like outside of the network, I would say that would probably be the second best shit that like you could actually gain from it. That like bubble where you could have your test run with white niggas on varying degrees, like especially before you have to deal with them in a professional capacity, like in the offices, in the buildings, when they be on their funny, slick talking sideways shit, like you kind of just get your test run on how to do, because you don't want to get that test run when you in your first job, you know what I'm saying, out of school, and now you kind of learning how to deal with these niggas, because you're going to have to deal with them anyway, unless you go on to work for Tyler Perry Studios or some shit.
Yeah. No, you absolutely right. That's what I say. I spoke at a HBCU once, and we were just talking about something, and I basically said to the girl, I was like, nah, I don't think you should have came here. Somehow it came up, she was asking me like, did she pick the right school? She was ghetto as hell. I was like, nah, you should have went to a primary white institution. She shocked because she like, you of all people saying that you're supposed to be pro-black, you should have said that. I'm like, nah, you need to know what it's like to be around some white people. Like this shit around here ain't good for you. You know what I'm saying? You need to be in another environment. Plus, sometimes when you're in an environment where you can't get too comfortable, and that's kind of good because you kind of stay focused on your studies. Because you're not comfortable, sometimes you don't want to be comfortable. Sometimes you want to be, like one life hack back in the day. My girl used to hate when I did this shit, but I'll go sleep on the couch. She didn't understand it. She thought like I wanted to sleep on the couch to like text some chick or some shit like that. I was sleeping on the couch because the shit was uncomfortable. So I'd only sleep like maybe 3 or 4 hours, and I'd get back up and start working again. I was just doing it to, you know what I mean? I had to remind me like you ain't made it yet type shit, so that's just kind of like how my mom works on the matter, you know what I mean? It's just
So let me ask you a question, man, before we get off this, yo. When they bring this coronavirus vaccine, because we know it's inevitable, we know it's already coming down the pipeline, when they make it if and when they make it mandatory for schools, what's gonna happen? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do at that point with your kids?
Well, at this point, my kids are past that age. But if they change those laws, I'm probably gonna have to.
They don't have vaccination laws for junior high. Your sons are in junior high now, right?
Yeah, but the shots that kids normally get,